The pass rate increased by 4.4% from 82.9% in 2023. Let's look at the quality of South Africa's education in light of the improvement in the pass rate and the number of distinctions. I'm now joined by Professor Tumi Diale, Dean of the Faculty of Education at Sol Plaatje University. A very good afternoon to you, Prof. Thanks very much for your time. The best matric results ever.
Good afternoon, Putvuyo, and good afternoon to the viewers. Yes, it is indeed the best results for 2025, for the 2024 cohort, sorry.
Do we know if it happened by chance or there was a deliberateness on the part of those in charge to ensure that, we get the best outcome possible?
We are being in the education space, in higher education. I can really confirm to say this was not by chance. The results it is intentional. If you really look and track in the past few years, and more especially post-COVID, the basic Department of Education has really come to party in terms of putting systems in place for support of students. If you can see, some of us as parents would always say it seems like a child is at school from Monday to Monday. But they had really put a lot of systems in place to support students, to support learners. And more we're beginning to get parents who understand the pressure of the matric year or even from the grade 11 year and the time students need, and really giving time and support for their children. So it is not a chance. They have worked hard. These children are resilient, have worked hard. Parents have supported, schools and teachers have worked hard, but the DBE has really come to party.
Unpack that for us, Prof. What are those systems? What exactly are the sort of things that the Department of Basic Education has put in place?
Yes, there have been, for instance, you would remember the SIP program, which is the program that the Department of Education actually put into place when we were really not doing well, where the students would have additional classes on a Saturday, on a Sunday, where they would have camps. You would know that around September or so, just before the exams start, or prelim, during one of those spaces, there would be camps where students are taken into camps and are supported more. But besides those that are specific, which we would call block times, as in camps, school holidays, in the day-to-day, matric teachers also have worked very hard, in the sense that you'd find that children attend classes where in my time and my age, without selling out my real age, we talked about morning classes and afternoon classes. And those have been brought into place in a very rigorous way. So teachers have come into place. The districts have played a role in supporting schools and teachers. But also there's a lot of support systems in terms of where parents, when they find that their children are lacking, they put into system tutoring spaces for their children to have an additional support through tutoring. And the collaboration between basic education and higher education in most provinces have been very high. I know here at Sol Plaatje, but I know I come from the University of Johannesburg. I know we worked with a lot of schools where our students and our academics supported schools in terms of really subjects that were troublesome and supporting learning, teaching and learning for basic education.
Announcing the results yesterday, the Minister of Basic Education, Sylvia Kwahube, said attention must be paid to the quality of education as well. Yes.
The term quality, Putvuyo, is very broad. And when we say attention must be paid to quality, we would know that there's been a long-standing debate, which I am not going to get into now regarding the 33%. So whether the quality is referring to the passing percentage, whether it refers to the standards of teaching and learning, or whether it refers to how learning is actually taken across. It could also be referring to how we train teachers, and I would put that into the table, how we at higher education, being a dean of the Faculty of Education, how do we prepare teacher educators who would be going to school to teach. So quality, when we take it as one word, we could look at it in a very minimal way, in a very sort of short way. But if we unpack it, we cannot say we have arrived. We definitely need to work day by day to improving the quality of education. Because once we improve the quality of education, we can begin to see that interventions are done very early, from as early as the foundation place. The beautiful policies like the CIAs are really implemented, and parents, teachers, and schools understand, and learners understand what CIAs is meant for, to support children. So support is done right from the beginning, not towards the end. And as I say, matric is one of the processes, one of the rites of passage in education, but it is not the end it all.
Speaking of support, and it's something you touched on earlier, teachers, are they getting the requisite support to then, as people who are responsible for the passage of these pupils?
From where I stand, Vuyo, and there might be different opinions, whether from unions or from teachers themselves, but from where I stand from higher education, with the trainings I see the Department of Education enrolling teachers, the short learning programs that are given to teachers, the development, continuous development, professional development programs that are given to teachers, I would say they get support. We cannot run away from the fact that, especially in semi-rural, in some of the township schools, but also in rural areas, we are dealing with one of the biggest monsters, which is huge classes. And the reality is then, it makes it difficult for teachers, no matter how best they do, to reach each and every child at their point of need. So those are some of the things when we talk of quality that we need to improve. The class size, the availability of resources, the holistic development of a child. Those are some of the things we need to improve on.
Of course, we still have the problem of many of our children not making it to matric.
Yes, we do have a lot of our children. Let me not use the word lot. As an academic, I would be asked to quantify lot. But I would say we do have children who don't make it to matric. However, we should move away from the perspective that those children who do not make it to matric have dropped out of school. We need to remember that the education system in its own right, the way it is laid out, when we talk of basic education, we've got the general education and training, which ends at grade 9, compulsory education, which ends at grade 9. And then once children pass grade 9, we have pathways, or various pathways that children can go into or that they can diversify into. And some of those pathways, really, we have children who can join the TVET, and when we talk of matric, those children are at TVET, so they are not counted. So if we just look at saying this was the entry number at grade 1, this is the exit number at matric, we forget that there are those who have diversified to TVET colleges, there are those who've diversified to skill centers, there are those who've diversified to private schools, for instance, or to colleges or community centers. So there are other forms of learning and development that children have gone into. That doesn't take away the fact that we do, yes, have children who literally drop out in the streets and are not in education. And really, we need to work hard on improving that. And we also have to remember that whilst we have this number starting in grade 1, some of these children, throughout the process of the years, they do come across learning challenges where they are diverted into special education. So they are not necessarily dropouts, but they have had alternative forms of learning. So I'm not playing down the fact that there are children who drop out, but really when we talk of dropout percentages, we should be cognizant of the other forms or the other pathways of education that our children go to before they can reach the formal grade 12. And we should demystify that everything should be at grade 12 or everything should go into higher education, which is universities, higher education for us to recognize it. Let us recognize that there are various pathways in education.
Professor Diale, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it.